Roger. So, do you want me to shut up? Roger, Roger. Okay, there it was, there it was. Oh, cup to win. everyone wouldn't mind taking the seats, we'll be bringing the families of the fallen officers down here shortly. Thank you.
Sir, are your gloves mounted behind your back? Audrey was just motioning to you.
Oh.
Good morning. Please rise for the posting of our nation's colors and a traditional flag song. Now, to perform our invocation, Deputy Chief of Training, Lane Adams, Bureau of Indian Affairs, Office of Justice Services, United States Indian Police Academy.
Good morning. I am Akichita Wakchampi Shah from Miniwaka Oyate. I am Red Star Warrior from the Spirit Lake Sioux Nation. I have a few words to say before I pray. We gather here as mournful and proud people. We come from many nations, tribes, and communities. We are separated by land, history, and bloodlines. Yet we stand together today as one. One community, law enforcement. When an officer's life is taken from us on duty, we feel it across the nation, deep into our ranks and forever in our souls. Today we remember those we served with throughout the years, we bled with, we cried with, and who we would die with. We are the few who answered the call to hold the line against those who chose to do evil against the innocent. They are the warriors who will live on for eternity and who died a warrior's death. They will be remembered. Please remove your covers and let's bow our heads in prayer. Tukashila Wakantanka, most merciful God, when an officer does not make it home, it seems as though a curse has fallen upon us. It seems like the world has been turned upside down. It seems as though the plans of the wicked have prevailed. Yet you work all things for the benefit of your people. What wicked men mean for evil, you mean for good. Turn the curse of fallen officers into blessings. Let their blood cry out to you for vengeance, and allow their sacrifice to work good things through our communities. Aho, Mataki Oyasin. Amen.
You may be seated. Good morning, everyone. It is my deep honor and privilege to welcome you all to the 33rd Annual Indian Law Enforcement Memorial. Today, we gather on sacred ground, not just the earth beneath our feet, but the ground made sacred by the lives, the service, and the sacrifice of those we honor. We stand together, families, colleagues, tribal leaders, law enforcement officers, and members of our communities, united by respect, gratitude, and remembrance. Indian country has always produced warriors, protectors of the people, defenders of the homeland. Those we memorialize today answered that call. They wore the badge not for recognition or reward, but because of a deeper duty: to protect the innocent, to preserve peace, and to uphold the sovereignty of our tribal nations. The officers and agents we remember today served with valor. They stood in the hard places, often alone, often unseen, facing dangers known and unknown. They answered the call not once, but every single day, with courage that didn't always make headlines, but changed lives nonetheless. Their sacrifices remind us that law enforcement in Indian country is not just a profession. It is a sacred trust. It is an extension of the oldest traditions of service and selflessness among our people. To the families who are here today, your loved ones will never be forgotten. Their stories will live on in the communities they protected, in the children who sleep safely at night, and in the badge passed from generation to generation. We honor them not only with words, but with our commitment that we will remember, that we will serve, and that we will stand as they stood. with integrity, with courage, and with heart. Let this gathering today renew in all of us a solemn vow that their sacrifice was not in vain, that their legacy will inspire those who follow, and that in our work, in our service, and in our lives, we will strive to be worthy of their memory. And now, for our first invited speaker, Robert Price, Director, Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, the Artesia Training Site.
Thanks, sir. Thank you very much for the honor to represent FLETC, the 33rd Annual Indian Law Enforcement Officers Memorial. Fellow officers, family members, distinguished guests, today we honor the memories of courageous law enforcement officers who sacrificed all. These officers were our friends, our partners, and family members. They entered a noble vocation and selflessly devoted themselves to the protection of their communities throughout Indian country. FLETC has been privileged to partner with the Bureau of Indian Affairs for over 35 years, and every graduate that passes through these gates will be part of the FLETC family, and we are privileged to honor their sacrifices today. As you can see behind me, the flags have staff in honor of our fallen officers within the law enforcement community. Each officer that is currently serving or who has ever served takes pause and sorrows when a fellow officer pays the ultimate price, regardless of the badge on their chest. Let us not forget those who have sacrificed, those who have suffered, and those who continue to serve throughout Indian country. This memorial serves as a reminder of those sacrifices and what it means to enter the law enforcement profession. Every recruit, instructor, and staff member that passes by this memorial every day is reminded of these sacrifices and encouraged to carry on the traditions and professionalism passed on to us by those whose names are inscribed upon these granite walls. To the officers in the audience, continue to honor those who've fallen every day as you pin on your badge. Carry on the memories and the high standards set by those who came before you. To family and friends, know that our fallen officers will never be forgotten, will always be cherished, and will serve as a pinnacle of hope and inspiration for every officer that passes through this institution.
Thank you for those words, sir. And now for invited speaker Robert McLean, Director, Office of Law Enforcement and Security.
Good morning, everyone. We gather here today at the Indian Country Law Enforcement Memorial. It's a privilege and an honor to stand before you as we come together to remember and pay tribute to the brave men and women who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. My name is Rob McLean. I am the Director of the Office of Law Enforcement and Security at the United States Department of the Interior. I want to extend a heartfelt welcome to the families of our fallen heroes, fellow law enforcement officers, tribal leaders, and community members. Your presence here today speaks volumes about the strength of community and the bonds that we share. Today we gather to honor the memories of our fallen heroes throughout Indian country, while acknowledging the most recent line of duty deaths. Officer Jesse Branch, Officer Joshua Brees, Investigator Brian Herbert, Officer Anthony Franconi, Sheriff Darrell King, and Border Patrol agents Manuel Alvarez, Luis Pena, and David Webb. Each of these amazing human beings exemplified the core virtues of law enforcement: honor, sacrifice, and service. It is important to acknowledge the actions these officers took that made them heroes, but more importantly, recognizing the lives they lived that made them heroes. Officer Jesse Branch, who served in the Red Lake Nation Department of Public Safety for 17 years, tragically lost his life in a vehicle crash while responding to a call for service. Officer Joshua Brees, though only with us for a brief time, made a profound impact in his service in the Gila River Police Department. He was taken from us far too soon while responding to a disturbance call where he faced gunfire with courage and resolve. Investigator Brian Herbert of the Osage Nation Police Department and a veteran of the United States Army dedicated 28 years to law enforcement, serving in various capacities across multiple departments. He suffered a heart attack while qualifying at the firearms range. Police officer Anthony Franconi was tragically struck and killed while deploying spike strips during a vehicle pursuit north of Nixon, Nevada. The fleeing suspect, who fatally struck Officer Franconi, was subsequently shot and killed. Sheriff Darrell King died in a two-vehicle crash in November of 2023. A commercial motor vehicle collided head-on with a passenger vehicle driven by Sheriff King. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Border Patrol agent Manuel Alvarez was killed in a motorcycle crash on the Tohono O'odham Nation Reservation south of Sells, Arizona. He and another agent were conducting a dirt bike patrol of a rugged land when their motorcycles collided, causing Agent Alvarez to suffer fatal injuries. Border Patrol agent Luis Pena succumbed to injuries sustained on October 18, 2007, while responding to assist other agents in apprehending a narcotics smuggling group on the Tohono O'odham Indian Reservation. Agent Pena's patrol vehicle left the roadway and rolled over. He suffered fatal injuries. And Senior Patrol Agent David Webb was killed in a single vehicle crash. He was driving a Border Patrol vehicle in Arizona, just east of Ajo, on the Tohono O'odham Indian Reservation, when his vehicle's tire blew out and he lost control of that vehicle, causing fatal injuries. As we remember the actions and the names, most importantly, we remember how they lived their lives, how they loved their families, and how are they committed to public safety as not just a career, but as a calling. As we remember these heroes, we must also acknowledge the ongoing grief of their families, loved ones, and colleagues. The pain of loss does not fade. It transforms and evolves, and we need to be there for them, to grieve with them, to love them, to help them through this time. Let us commit to being there for the families of our fallen officers, ensuring they know they are not alone in their journey of healing. I urge each of you to carry forward the memory of our fallen officers in your hearts and in your actions. Let their sacrifices inspire us to serve with integrity, to support one another, and to uphold the values that define our profession. In honoring their memory, we reinforce the enduring community and spirit within law enforcement. We are bound together by a shared commitment to protect and serve, and it is this unity that strengthens our resolve in the face of adversity. At the U.S. Department of the Interior, we pay tribute to these fallen officers every year. It's something we call Miles for Valor. Across this great country, across all nations, officers, colleagues within the Department of Interior run, jog, swim, bike, accumulate miles in honor of those that have come before us. We honor them By doing this, we also maintain our physical strength and health, because the legacy is what they've laid the foundation for. We must uphold, we must strengthen. What we do in law enforcement is a calling on the blood and the sacrifice of those amazing heroes. We ran from the Department of Interior headquarters 2.5 miles up to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial, which some of you have attended. On that wall are over 22,000 names of law enforcement officers across our history that gave the ultimate sacrifice. There's an inscription on that memorial that reads, "It is not how these officers died that made them heroes, it is how they lived. Through their legacies of service and sacrifice, their lives mattered. The surviving families matter. Their spirits remain with us, filling us with the spirit and determination to live our lives as they did, with nobility." In closing, let us honor the memories of those fallen heroes and their surviving families and colleagues by committing ourselves to the ideals they embodied. May we continue to support one another, uplift our communities, and serve with the same courage and dedication they displayed. Thank you for being here today to honor our heroes. Let us carry their memories forward, ensuring that their sacrifices are never forgotten.
And now for our keynote speaker, Glenn Melville, Deputy Bureau Director, Bureau of Indian Affairs, Office of Justice Services.
Thank you, Brandon. Welcome to the 33rd Annual Indian Country Law Enforcement Officers Memorial. My name is Richard Glenn Melville. I'm a member of the Makah Nation. My family given name is A'akisach. It is my honor to lead the men and women of the Bureau of Indian Affairs Law Enforcement as their director. I want to thank the families who have traveled to be here with us to honor their loved ones and place their names on the wall with the other heroes who have also lost their lives while serving Indian country. I want to thank the Indian Police Academy and FLETC staff for their hard work prepping for this memorial. They do a great job to make this a special time. We gather here to honor and remember our loved ones that have given the ultimate sacrifice in the service of Indian country. We gather with these heroes' families. We have both of these families with us here today. The families they came from and created, and the families they joined and served with as guardians, their brothers and sisters in law enforcement. I have said this before, serving in Indian country is a calling. It is a calling to one of the toughest jobs in the world. It is tough to step into a law enforcement position in Indian country, especially if you're not from there or don't have a connection to that land. It is even harder if you are from there and you have that connection, because everybody knows you and you know them because they are your people. If you come to this land without that connection, you will quickly gain that connection to the land and to the people and will become part of it. If you came from this land, you know the connection and you grow closer to it as you learn how to protect it. As a law enforcement officer, you make another connection as you learn your place in life. A connection to your brothers and sisters in law enforcement. It doesn't matter the shape of your badge or color of your uniform. We are all here to serve and protect and to do the right thing. We are lucky because today we have both heroes' families with us today to honor them. God has a special place in heaven for the guardians, and he walks with them as he walks with their families in their grief. To the families, always remember to carry on their memory in your hearts, and carry on their love and commitment to serving. Indian country thanks you.
And now we will have a traditional blessing of our memorial. And now we will begin the roll call of our honored officers.
Good morning. Thank you all for coming here today. Thank you for joining us. A lot of you who have traveled a great distance to be with us here today. Thank you for joining us. As we remember this week, as we recall these names, all of these individuals here who had made that ultimate sacrifice. So, please, class. Are you ready? First name. Chin Chi Ki. Benjamin F. Jones. Culpepper Colbert. John Green. John R. Boston. Joe Barnett. Sam Scott. Henry McGill. Sam Cujo. Thomas Cloud. Frank West. Sam Sixkiller. William Will Fields. Jack Candy. Med Hare. John Armstrong. Paul Akichita. Henry Bullhead. David Hawkman. James Little Eagle. Charles Shavehead. Armstead Homer. Sequoia Houston. Isaac Walkenstick. Robert Marshall. Joe Big Knife. Charles Proctor. Jeff Surratt. Cub Burney. W.M. Russell. Ben Collins. Robert Leo Bowman. Henry Oates. Dennis Titla Sr. Nathan Norman Bear. Alan L. St. Clair.
Adolf Frederick Bush. Roy Richard Bradshaw. Philip N. Lopez. Lauren B. Whitehat. Milton Paul Antone. John K. Healy. Lewis A. Millard. Roy Lee Stanley. Andy Begay. Burton Begay. Leroy A. Pine, Jr. Dean Martin James. Terry L. Spotted Wolf, Sr. Delfort H.K. Carl N. Wilson. Donald Dante Thornbury. Jeffrey S. Skenandor. Ishkoten Kutten. Milborn Williamson. Jake James McCullough. Roderick Henry. Kevin Tillman Lewis. George comes at night. Isaac Benjamin Martinez. Ronald A. Williams. Jack Cooler. Louis Abeda. Glenn R. Miles, Jr. Michael G. Miller. Ronald Eugene Kelly. Husky Allen Jean Jr. Charles W. Lane. Samuel E. Redhouse. David Zisker. William Bearshield. Michael Delgado.
Jack Spencer. Delford Thomas Oyabi. Esther Torricini. Wilson Fred A. Filfred. Kenny Gatewood Jr. Kelmer Onefelder. Creighton T. Spencer. Shelby D. Blackfox. John Red Horse. Lloyd Aragon. Glenn Hollowhorn. Robert Taylor. Adam Hawk. John Ho Williams. Nicholas D. Greenig. Frank Horn Cloud. A.H. Scott. Joshua Yazzie. Anthony Wallace. Matthew Tokuoka. George Debates. Michael Gallagher. Merrill Bruguier. William L. Papan. Aaron D. Peru. Daryl C. Curley. Frederick A. Riggenback. Christopher L. Dewey. Thomas Olaf Madole. Robert W. Barron. Robert E. Zimmern. Colin Clark Jr. Patrick S. Johnson. Gabriel Rich.
Hare A. Cabrera. Nash P. Garcia. Alex K. Yazzie. Anthony E. Losaya. Hosky Thompson. Robert Patrick Flickinger. Leander Frank. Houston Largo. Nelson One Penny. Nathan B. Graves. Ugashan Curtis W. Blackbird. Clayton Joel Townsend. Gordon James. Stephen Greco. Shannon Barron. David Kellywood. Charlie Joe Cortez. Michael Lee. Brian Brown. Horacio Dominguez. Mark Maynard Dreyer. James Robert Hughes. Marvin Jean Williams. Ryan Violet. Adrian Lopez. Ramsey Alam. David Webb. Manuel Alvarez. Luis Pena Jr. Anthony Franconi. Daryl King. Brian Herbert. Josh R. Brees. Jesse Branch.
And now, to deliver our benediction, Lame Adams, Deputy Chief of Training, Bureau of Indian Affairs, Office of Justice Services, Indian Police Academy.
Please rise. Remove our covers or your hats. I pray for the fallen officers. Chakashila Kantanka, Lord of all, you came to earth to show us what true love looks like. You taught us what love was about sacrifice, virtue, and service. You taught us that love means to lay down your life for one another, for fallen officers everywhere. We thank you for your selfless example of courage and valor. We ask that you bless and keep the families and friends of these fallen officers. Wipe every tear from their eyes. Lord, help them to heal and to move forward in a way that honors his or her memory. Lord, the great physician, The loss of life of one of our police officers is so painful and devastating to endure. It can ravage a community for a long time. I ask that you come and dwell in our mind. Let your holy word be healing, the balm that soothes our wounds and allows us to heal from the loss of these warriors. Help us to learn from his or her selfless example of dedication and devotion to protecting us. Let our memories of him or her not be ones of sadness for their loss, but of celebration of life lived in the image of you. And I pray to the families. Heavenly Father, please and keep the families of the fallen police officers. Though the officer made the ultimate sacrifice in their line of duty, their spouses, children, and family are also making an enormous and continuing sacrifice in living on this earth without their loved one. O Lord, help us to rally around these spouses and families as a community. Help us raise these children as if they are our children. It takes a village, Lord. Bring us together around the family of a fallen officer to be that village for his or her family. Give us the means to uplift them and bear their burdens, as you taught us to do in your testament. Aho, mataki o yasin. Amen.
And now, a traditional honor song. That will now conclude the 33rd Annual Indian Law Enforcement Officers Memorial. As the ceremony closes, I want to invite each of you to join us for light refreshments and a small meal in the gymnasium, but by no means do I want any of you to rush. If you want to stay here and take some photographs, we will also have supplies for the rubbings of the names of your loved ones from our memorial. Again, thank you for attending and for honoring these fallen officers.
That's good. Hopefully, I hope I took some good pictures. You went that way? Yeah. You want to go that way? Unless you wanted to. No, I'll